yeah, I've been in crypto for quite some time. Never publicly, never in a social account. I created this account earlier this year just to go public a little bit and learn a little bit more, which is when I came across Bitcoin OS. And I love you guys. So yeah, just here doing my thing. It's still a mystery to me how the token is going to be issued. And that's the main question I have, if I may ask. But I want to know how this magical Bitcoin OS token is going to be issued on the Bitcoin layer. That's how I understand. I'm not sure you guys are ready to explain, but that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, no, that's I think everybody's curious. But I don't think that we could talk about that yet, unfortunately, just cuz yeah, just because you know how it goes. So I think that we need to wait a little bit before we get into the actual discussion of how that's actually going to be unfolding. Like I had pretty much all I had explained to you guys previously was that it was a discovery that our developers made kind of like accidentally, and now it's something that is pretty I'd say it's pretty revolutionary. um like up there with ordinals and such and ruins. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that information being shared publicly. And it should be in the next couple months, I believe. Would you say that's true, Andrew?
Sorry, say that again. What's in the next couple months?
The issuance of basically the how do I explain this without like talking about it directly?
You just slack me.
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna slack you real quick.
There's a lot happening over the next couple of months. That's why I'm asking. I'm trying to piece it together.
All right,
Oh
yeah,
yes,
in your
yes,
DMs.
yes. Yeah, that'll probably there's going to be something very big happening, like a big announcement from Boss coming within about a month, and we've already kind of alluded to it online. But we're going to dig more deeply into it. Just another piece of technology that's going to make interoperability between every chain so much better in a way that people didn't even envision before, and it's probably an even bigger deal than like Claire made the comparison to ordinals and runes. I think this is an even bigger deal than that. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I follow the under promise over deliver technique, so that's why
Okay,
that's
fair,
why
fair.
I'm
Yeah,
kind of
this isn't a whole big thing, guys. All right, okay, it's just gonna be a small little boss announcement. Don't think too bigly of it, okay? But
yeah, don't
yeah,
worry
hit the notification.
guys. Yeah, it's gonna be nothing. Don't worry about it whatsoever. As always, we never yeah. But Norbert, welcome my friend, our regular. Good to see you. How are you doing?
GM. So all is good. Just trying to, underdeliver. But after all that mystery you guys been talking about, I'm even more headed to the website or like headed to the Twitter page. I'm like, is there any hints? Anything I can look for? But yeah, I think that's always a great narrative. To be honest, it takes time regardless. Um, and, I know it's gonna be exciting, but would love to hear more. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're on the website reading the white paper right now, but you'll have to wait a little bit. You'll have to wait a little bit before we announce that. But welcome to everybody. Lots of new faces here today. Monty, good to see you. Precious, good to see you. John, Decrypt, Zenith, good to see you. DeFi producer, David, Jason. Jason, I know you've been requesting to speak, but there's been an issue with bringing you up. I don't know if you're rugging. Maybe you should leave the space and come back. Um, Aris, good to see you. Israel, Intelligent, Draken, EP, Gia, Jay, Ham, good to see you. Mikey, The Great, MRMC, BB Star, Aaron, Kolam, McCool, Crypto BB, and AO. Good to see everybody here. And Ridwan just joined. Balea just joined. Good to see you guys. All right. Well, so the topic for today, guys, it is mastering the art of trading. Now, this is a funny topic because I'm not necessarily qualified to speak about this because my portfolio is in the absolute gutter. Like I said, my USDC is struggling, which is nuts. But, regardless of that, we definitely have some tips and tricks up our sleeve, of course, right? Of course. So we'll be sharing some of that, but also the main goal of this is to also hear from you guys. Let's talk about our mistakes. Let's talk about what has worked. Let's talk about our strategies. Are we doing like some on-chain analysis? What kind of platforms are you using? And then I also want to talk about scams and hack prevention. Shout out to Michael K from Consensus. Um, yeah, every time I hop into space now, like I feel like I touch up on this topic because it's just so crucial. It's like if you're doing the due diligence like for yourself, doing the research with projects and trying to just do analysis, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, all of that, right? Like what's the point of all that? What's the point of like working so hard for your money if you're also not going to put the time it takes to preventing scams, preventing hacks in a space that's so like abundant of that. But Andrew, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to reinforce the point for everybody here on the spaces that this is going to be a spaces where we want you guys to kind of take over a little bit more. So we're going to do a bit of a brief introduction to the topic, but we want to hear from you because Claire and I are hardly the trading experts. I mean, this is more of a cry for help, if anything. Claire messaged me saying, Andrew, my portfolio is down 99%. What do I do? I need a quick
No.
100x to return back to even. And I said, I can't really help you. I'm not much of a trader, but I don't know, maybe, maybe we can help
Yo, throwing me under the bus, man.
That might be a bit exaggerated,
That
guys.
is not what happened, guys. Do not trust Andrew.
But it's heading that way. So we must change the tactic now. That's why you guys are here, so
Yes,
we can
guys,
turn it
somebody
around.
tell us the next meme coin, please. But in any case, look, I'd actually be happy to at least start something off because even though I'm a dedicated Bitcoin hodler, I'd be lying if I didn't say I've considered in the past not short-term trading, but trying to maybe trade the cycle because that does seem like it sticks out to me as something that does seem to be reoccurring. Last cycle, I know everybody kept screaming the word super cycle at the beginning of 2022, and that didn't happen. We just had another regular cycle. And so, yeah, it's something that I've thought about, the fact that maybe I could trade the cycle. And I have a feeling that it's something that a lot more people consider than short-term trading. They might think about trading in terms of like a few months or like a few years time frame along these sorts of movements rather than short-term trading because most people don't have time to short-term trade. Most people are, they're going to work during the day. They're not like they don't have their eyes on the charts and the news cycle at all times. So I just wanted to share maybe a couple of things that I remember learning about when I was trying to educate myself on how to spot cycle tops and bottoms. Um, which I still have no idea if I'm going to act on this knowledge. It's still up in the air. But one of the things that caught my eye was on-chain analysis. So on-chain analysis, I've noticed, has gotten a lot of flack from people. People keep saying it's like very outdated because we live in such like a futures-dominated world now. But I feel like there's still a lot to be learned from on-chain analysis, and it can actually tell you quite a bit. So the thing that stuck out most to me is that one of the biggest defining moments of a cycle top is when you look at long-term holders. So coins on on the Bitcoin blockchain that haven't moved in a very, very long time, and which, because they haven't moved in a very, very long time, are probably in a lot of profit. Towards cycle tops, all of those older holders who've been holding on for, I believe a long-term holder is qualifies as somebody who's held longer than 5 months, at least according to Glassnode and most of the analytics providers. But somebody who's been holding for over 5 months, it's when all of those people start moving their coins. And so you'll see, if you look, there's charts for this that track the number of Bitcoins that have been held long term or dormant. And usually it's on a steady upward climb, but towards cycle tops, they take a big dip, a really big fall off. And you'll notice that that's when the price starts to tank as well, because these people, they're sitting on a lot of profit and they're feeling comfy and they think, okay, now's my time to cash out because this will probably make a big difference in my life. So there's an on-chain metric for this, for measuring the, not just say the amount of long-term holders that are selling, because often by the time you notice they're selling, it might already be too late. But there is a metric that usefully measures how much profit the general Bitcoin investor base is in, and it's called MVRV. So this stands for market value to realized value. So the market value just represents the total market cap, say, of Bitcoin, whereas the realized value of the chain is the market cap of all of the coins. So like the value of all of the coins on the Bitcoin blockchain put together at the price at which they last moved. Now, the price at which each coin last moved is usually a good indicator of where that coin was last bought at. And so if a trader last received a coin at a certain price and it like moved into their wallet at that price, you can assume they bought in at that price. And then if the price of Bitcoin today has risen substantially since that point, you can assume they're in a lot of profit. So if you extrapolate that across the whole Bitcoin network, the MVRV ratio measures the profit ratio of the whole network. And you'll notice that when the MVRV hits a certain ratio, I going off of memory, I believe it's around 4 across the whole network. If the ratio hits about 4, that is when a lot of people start taking a lot of profit. And it tends to be a top signal. It's a sign that things are overheated. So that was one thing that stuck out to me. Another thing that's appearing off the top of my head, and I'll stop rambling after I make this one little point, is Coinbase. Really simple indicator. If there's a lot of Coinbase app downloads going on, if Coinbase is starting to hit the top of the app store, that means your cousins and your uncles and your family members who aren't normally into crypto are starting to get in and are trying to download the first app that appears on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. So that is when you're at peak FOMO. We've seen little instances of that where Coinbase is climbing the ranks of the App Store, but I don't know if it's hit quite number 1 yet. But that indicator, I believe it timed quite accurately I want to say like 3 tops in a row. I want to say it was like the 2017 top. It was like within a few days of that, or maybe like a couple weeks. And the both 2021 tops, the Coinbase App Store thing was like a really good indicator. So it's simple but effective. Anyway, anybody else have anything else to chime in?
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback off what you were saying. I think on-chain analysis is extremely important. And for those of you that don't know what on-chain analysis is, it's basically like you're analyzing blockchain data to understand how assets move, how transactions occur, understanding the health of a network or like the total ecosystem. There's a lot that on-chain analysis actually offers. And there's a few platforms that you can actually use that's free. So Glassnode obviously has a paid tier, but they also have a free tier. It's not amazing, but it still offers pretty good value, I would say. There's also Masari. Masari is a good one. I believe all the ones I'm going to mention have some form of like a free tier. So there's Masari, there's Nansen. I think that one's also widely used. I believe there's one called Dune, which is actually community run, which is interesting. So yeah, definitely, utilize on-chain analysis in your trading because I think that it definitely, it can't hurt. I think it definitely can complement your trading as well as, other forms of analysis you're doing, like sentiment analysis or fundamental analysis, looking at macroeconomics on a greater scale. Um, but guys, all right, so Andrew, that was amazing. Thank you so much. You are going to be my go-to now. Before I execute any trade, I'm going to Andrew, man. All right. Um, but all right, guys. So you know how this goes. You guys will put up your hands. And I will call you each one by one so that you can contribute. But also, I would like to say, please keep in mind, like, just time. We want to make sure that we give everybody a chance to speak. So if you do decide that you want to come up as a speaker, please just, keep that in consideration. Zenith, my friend, welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to have you. The DCA community is here and is alive. The mic is yours. Would love to hear from you.
Yo, shout out to Bitcoin OS. Like, I'm so happy to be here. I don't normally do this requesting for the speaker. I'm coming up on the speaker section. So I always want to listen and listen. So yeah, shout out to everybody that is here to support Bitcoin OS on what they are building. This is an amazing project, guys. And my boss earlier, like I said on the DM, anytime you're traveling, I just want to be there with you. Like, I want you to, take me along. And yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much for all the support and all the amazing support. I was so amazed when I got to hear that Jason got some role on Bitcoin is a project. Yeah, I was so happy. I was so happy. It means a lot to the DCA community. Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to talk about that. And Andrew, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, man. Thank you for everybody who has been giving their full support to Bitcoin OS. Like I always say, I'm gonna be with this project. Like, I don't know how many years it's gonna last. 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna stick with the project. And I see Mr. CJ is here. My boss, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. CJ. Mr. CJ has been a very supportive partner when it comes to Bitcoin OS. Yeah, I see the DCA community, everybody that is here, and I've been seeing a whole lot of partnership here and there with the Bitcoin OS. A lot of partnership, like collaboration and all that. Like, is amazing. Like, is amazing. Honestly speaking, is amazing. And I'm talking about trading. Like I said, I think that was last week. I can't recall. Yeah, probably last week where I lost $66. Trading trading on futures. So yeah, and Andrew, like Elian said, I'm gonna um you're gonna be my support partner when it comes to trading futures. And but I know you have a lot in your hand right now. But yeah, um but let me see. Yeah, probably anytime you are free, to give a signal on trading. Yeah, I'll be on your DM for you to support. Yeah, yeah, shout out to everybody that is here. And I love what Bitcoin OS is building. Honestly speaking, I've been studying, and it's just all about tech, guys. If you are not well grounded when it comes to Web3, like honestly speaking, you get to understand what they are building. But I've been trying to break it down to my own, let me say, to a layman understanding, to my own understanding. And yeah, but yeah, I kind of, yeah, I'm getting to understand fully, like grasp what the project is building. And for most of us who are here, who are like Zenith, we've been talking about Bitcoin OS a lot, both in your spaces, in the community call. You've been talking about Bitcoin OS, you've been saying don't fail on this project. Like, do you fully understand what this project is building? Yeah, guys, I understand what the project is building. And if I don't understand earlier, no, she will help me to, she will break it down. Yeah, but honestly, I feel like what the project is building, basically, if you understand what Ethereum blockchain is all about, like if you guys understand what Ethereum blockchain is all about, and the DeFi side and everything that Ethereum has built, like for the past years, yeah, it's kind of the same stuff Bitcoin OS is trying to integrate into Bitcoin blockchain. Okay, you can imagine Bitcoin OS. It's kind of, let me use this word. For instance, you have a house, like you have a house, a building, like just take it as a building, a full room. Okay, Bitcoin blockchain is like a full room, but for this room. Like he's exhausted, and they needed this room needed a lot more rooms, for it to work, because you kind of imagine everything is jam packed on this particular room. So now Bitcoin OS is coming as an extension. Do you get? They are coming as an extension. So I just want to break it down for everybody to grasp. Okay, Bitcoin OS is coming as an extension. Okay, they are building an extension on Bitcoin blockchain. Okay, where you now have a lot of other rooms, where you have a lot of other rooms on this on Bitcoin blockchain, where other things can now function on these rooms. Okay, where you can now have, let's say, the DeFi side, the staking side, the NFTs. Like you can literally build anything you want to build now on Bitcoin. And not just that, all the blockchain can now interact with Bitcoin OS, Bitcoin blockchain. Do you get? Other chains like Ethereum, you can imagine, like what is it called? Solana, all the chains can now come and interact with Bitcoin blockchain. A lot, like Elian always say, is an island, and there's a lot of a lot of good materials in this island, like gold, silver. So nobody has been using, like, I've been making use of them. So Bitcoin OS is like, when this thing when they finally improve in this tech, or when other chains start interacting with Bitcoin blockchain, they will now extract these minerals, from Bitcoin blockchain, like the gold and everything. For instance, like the liquidity on Bitcoin blockchain cannot be extracted out of Bitcoin blockchain to other chains. So you can imagine what that means, guys. Like, there are a lot of, like, let's say, billions of dollars in Bitcoin blockchain lying down there. Nobody is making use of them. So let's just be hopeful, okay? Let's just pray that, yeah, they master the tech, and then this thing becomes successful. Okay, guys. So also try to make your research. And one of the tech they are using to make this thing successful is the zero this thing, the SKPs, okay, ZKPs, okay. So where the zero knowledge this thing prove, okay. So that is what they are using to make this tech, make it a successful project. So yeah, so if this thing becomes successful, guys, imagine you being with Bitcoin blockchain, and you are like, okay, guys, I actually, write a thread for this project when they are coming new. I did this for the project, I did that for the project, and it will be a huge impact that you've made. Okay, it will be a huge impact that you've made on this project. So guys, don't fade on Bitcoin Bitcoin OS. Okay, if you are here listening, don't fade on the project. I've been hosting a lot of spaces for them, and I've never really said anything about the the tech side, because I don't really understand how these things work. But I've been making research, a lot of research. I think this is my, like, this is my first time of trying to explain what this project is building. And thank God, probably let me hear from Elia, my boss, and Andrew. Like, if I did well, because I just want to, going I just want to start going to spaces now to, talk about Bitcoin OS. So I still know I'm going to have a lot of improvement, in explaining what they are from Elia and Andrew. If I did well, thank you guys. Let me mute my mic.
You know what? Zenith really came onto our space to shill Bitcoin OS. That is wild, man. That is wild. But the love is in the air. The love is in the air. The love is in the air. And all I can say is, Zenith, like, you've come a long way, my friend. A couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, I remember you trying to explain Bitcoin OS, and you just kept hitting a wall. You just kept hitting a wall. But you know what? I can genuinely see that you've developed like a really good level of understanding, which is what I told you guys a long time ago, right? I said the more that you just immerse yourself, the more that you keep absorbing, the more you act like a sponge, the more that you're going to continue to understand. The pieces of the puzzle are going to come together. Everything is going to kind of make sense. So Amazing, amazing analogies. Love to see you trying to create your own analogies and, simplify, concepts for the community. So shout out to you, Zenith. Always good to have you, my friend. And yeah, just love is in the air. Genuinely felt like you're so bullish on Bitcoin OS, and it made me smile. Like it just made me smile so much. But so good to have you. And DeFi producer, my friend, welcome, welcome. The mic is yours. So good to have you.
All right, Jim, everybody. This kind of OS, Jim, Alien, Jim, Andrew, Zenith, Jason, everybody on the speaker row and on the listener session. Norbert, I see you, Sage, I see you, Jim. Yeah, so actually to talk about the topic. Okay, yeah, by the way, Bitcoin is like one of the most amazing projects I've seen so far. So let me just say my token of appreciation of to Alien for bringing this to my notice. Like this is one of the most amazing projects I've seen for a while now. For a while now, like the technology is actually fascinating. It's actually fascinating, very wild. But just to keep my time at bay, let me just talk about what I wanted to talk about, which is trading, right? Yeah. So me, I'm actually a short-term trader. Yeah, I'm a short-term trader. I'm a futures trader, so I don't really hold for long. Like I've not yet grown to the level of a spot trader. That's why I'm just a futures trader. So my take on futures trading, like I've actually had some success and I've had some losses. But the success actually outmatched the losses. But one of the things I consider while trading is actually when we're trading, we actually have to be checking fundamental analysis and human analysis. In trading, when we use analysis actually doesn't really mean like the technical part of things. It's actually talking about human emotions. Like this analysis just master human emotions, and when the market seems to be dropping down like in an unusual way, like it did in the past few weeks, you can see the market doing anyhow. The question we should be asking ourselves is, why are these people selling? And when you're entering a trade, you should be asking yourself, because whenever you enter a trade, someone is definitely selling to you. So the person may actually be making profit. So you should actually be considered, okay, as I'm entering this trade, someone else is making profits. Like, am I safe here? Is the market going to consolidate? Then that's when we bring in news to actually check all these things. But in futures trading, where you actually have a short period of time to be doing most of this analysis, so you can't really check much. You don't really have the time to be checking news and all of that. So that's why it's very much useful if you actually use human analysis and also check Bitcoin. What my mentor told me, like when I was learning trading, I'm still learning, is that always check Bitcoin every day. Check Bitcoin price movement every day. He didn't really tell me the reason why, but what I figured out, I don't know whether it's correct or not. You'll actually correct me on this. But what I figured out is that whenever Bitcoin tends to tank a little, when the price moves up a little, when people realize they can't go for Bitcoin again because the price has already moved up, so they go for some of the major altcoins that have not yet tanked, some of the major altcoins that have not actually made any progress. That's what people tend to do. So when Bitcoin, when the graph is showing that Bitcoin is having an upward movement, you might want to be considering going for major altcoins. The time will not permit me. I actually have a good knowledge about Solana and how to be profitable on meme coins, but I think the space is not actually talking about that, so I won't really move to that. Yeah, so that's just something brief I want to talk about. Like when you're trading, check human analysis and also check Bitcoin, because Bitcoin price movements actually affect the entire thing, and it actually does it so well that it affects it in a manner of seconds. So and if you also check also now, when the entire market is falling down, like when Bitcoin drops about 6 to 7%, and the other altcoins also, if they drop a little and they're not doing that well, what do people tend to do? They tend to go for meme coins and trade on Solana. So that might actually be a good time for you to put money in Solana. Like when Solana is red, always know that Solana will come back whenever the price is coming down, because people now that are losing money in altcoins, what people want to do, like people that are just coming to the market, what they want to do is bet on meme coins. So that's making Solana price to actually come up. Yeah, so that's just a brief stuff I just figured out on my by myself. So I just thought to share it. And if there's any correction, I'm actually open for any correction. Yeah. Thanks, Ellen, for giving me the mic.
Thank you, DeFi. Yeah, I agree that, obviously, like human emotion is definitely something that obviously, like, it's kind of like sentiment analysis, right? Like you're kind of talk about sentiment analysis, like kind of like an overall general understanding of like what are people feeling. You could look at the greed and fear index, for example, and kind of like, get an understanding based off of that. So yeah, I'm definitely on the same page with you that I think that sentiment analysis is extremely important in navigating your trades, you know. And also a really good point about Bitcoin as well, kind of being like the main indicator and like the main mover of the market. And also like to kind of chime into that too is like Bitcoin dominance has been extremely, extremely high this cycle. And to me, like I'm actually like considering, like I'm thinking it's like, is the Bitcoin dominance actually going to go down? Because if you look at if you look at the like the current like landscape of things, like the political landscape, you look at all these institutional players jumping in, you look at all these strategic Bitcoin reserves being established, like in the United States, as well as like across the globe. It's like it makes you think that Bitcoin dominance might actually not come down this cycle, and we might not be seeing this juicy altcoin super cycle that we've all been kind of talking about, right? Which is actually funny, Andrew. You mentioned that people were saying that last cycle. Absolutely. I take full accountability. This is why I fully am the person that was saying that. I fully am the person that was saying that this cycle too. I take full accountability, guys. It's my fault. It's my fault. But yeah, no. So we've moving forward, we have some other speakers on the stage right now. Like I said, guys, if you would like a chance to speak, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I'm gonna pick one of you to talk. But let's see here. Who do we have? We got Jason. Jason, welcome, welcome. By the way, for those of you that don't know, Jason was actually recently onboarded as one of our moderators representing Nigeria for Bitcoin OS. So shout out to you, Jason. One of the best moderators around. He's been so engaged in the community and just been sharing so much love and just all over the place, right? Discord, X, like he's very, very active. So shout out to you, and so happy to have you up. Let's hear from you, Jason.
Yeah, shout out to Bitcoin OS. Shout out to what you guys are doing. Shout out to Diego. Like big shout out to Diego, man. He's the genius behind all this. Like, that man, they really, really try. I hope I can speak pidgin small here. GM everyone, GM Alien, GM Andrew, GM Zenith. I see the whole of DCA, GM Nobat, everyone in the listener section. I don't know why John is down there. John is meant to be up here in the speaker section. He always like hiding. So yeah, GM everybody. I don't really know. I'm still a newbie. To be honest, I'm still a newbie when it comes to trading. I do take people's signals, once in a while, but when it comes to the technical aspect, the whole analysis, I don't really understand it. So, but one thing I know for sure is that Bitcoin plays a huge role in the market. Like anytime Bitcoin goes up, every other thing goes up, and anytime Bitcoin comes down, everything comes down. Like we all saw what happened a couple of weeks ago when Bitcoin dropped. The whole market was in red. I was like looking at coin market cap. The top 100 coins, everything was in red. Nothing was in green. Even USDT was in red. USDC was in red. So I was like, okay, so yeah, that's also like another signal to just like take. But you have to be like very active to take that signal. To like just short everything when Bitcoin just suddenly dips. That everything dips, then when it starts coming back up, you just like long every other thing, and everything's still gonna like come back into place. I've seen Solana like dip to like $180 like a couple of times over the past few weeks, and then after a couple of days or maybe sometimes just hours, it just returns back to $200. So yeah, so I don't really know much about trading, and I know this space is based like is based fully on trading, but I'm just here, like, I just joined Web3 of recent, and as I just joined, I just discovered Bitcoin OS. I've actually been a huge fan of Bitcoin right from time. When Bitcoin was still $5,000, I was trying to like convince my parents to like, because my parents are into real estate. They put a lot of money in real estate. So I was trying to convince them to like, buy some Bitcoin. Like I know there was a time we could afford like 5 Bitcoin at a time, but my mom didn't believe in Bitcoin, so she was just like putting all her money into real estate. And well, I don't want to talk about that right now, so it's kind of sad because right now we'll be billionaires if like she listened to me, so that's kind of sad. But it's all well, it's all good, it's all good. We're still gonna get there, and Bitcoin is still just starting. $1 million is nothing. Bitcoin is still gonna reach $1 million in the future. That's for sure. Because Bitcoin is like okay, now look at the whole world. We all started from trade by barter. From trade by barter, we entered silver coins, gold coins. From gold coins, we entered fiat currency. So from that is paper currency. Then from that, we're now entering cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin is just like the dollar. You understand? So I believe that Bitcoin has a lot of potential, and I'm always gonna be bullish on Bitcoin. And I don't think it's too late for anybody to enter Bitcoin. Now talking about BOS, like BOS is gonna play. I don't know why people are not really talking about this, but I believe that Bitcoin OS is gonna play a huge role in the price of Bitcoin in the coming months. Like I don't know why you guys don't like hype it the way I hype it, but I believe that Bitcoin OS is gonna play a huge role. You know, everybody's going to be talking about Bitcoin OS very soon because we're going to be connecting with every other blockchain, and then things that have not been done before will not be able to be done on Bitcoin. So yeah, the hype is real. And then with Donald Trump, adopting the whole system, creating a digital asset reserve, and then he doesn't even know what Bitcoin OS is creating yet. But if people like Donald Trump, Elon Musk see what you guys are building, I know they are going to be very bullish on you guys. So yeah, I believe like Bitcoin now is going to play a huge role in the future price of Bitcoin. I'm so bullish on you guys, and yeah, so I don't really have much to say. I just can't wait for everything to just happen because now I'm in school when my classmates are talking about forex and Bitcoin, the price of everything, meme coins, everybody talking about Trump. I'm like, yeah, meme coins, yeah, you can actually make money from meme coins, but the way the real wealth is actually utility coins. And like there's something there's a project that is being built on the ground called Bitcoin OS, and this is what Bitcoin OS can do. You can like very soon we're going to be able to like build decentralized apps on Bitcoin. Then you can also decentralized finance will soon be possible on Bitcoin, and everybody's like, I'm just like talking crazy. And I show them, you guys page on X, and they're like, they're not the only first person. I mean, everybody just doubting. Like nobody just wants to believe what's happening. I'm like, okay, yeah, that is fine. Let's just wait for mainnet and let's just wait for everything to just like happen. So guys, what you guys are actually doing is something that people actually find it very difficult to believe because it's something that have not been done before, and it's just like you telling someone that this is going to be possible on Bitcoin, someone that knows about Bitcoin, they'll be like, what's this guy talking about? This guy is crazy. And then they'll be like, okay, I'm the Nigerian moderator in their Discord, and they'll be like, what makes me so special? So like, because the project is actually very, very huge, and I actually understand what's going on. Bitcoin OS is like an extension cord, like a bridge to like connect other blockchains to Bitcoin. So you can like use Bitcoin security, and then Bitcoin can also like leverage the functionalities of other blockchains. So I'm like, that is huge. So I'm just really, really bullish on you guys, and I don't have much to say because I'm not really, that vast with the technical aspect. I've just been following up on news, price changes, and all that. So I don't really have much to say, guys, but I'm supporting you guys. Like, and as Zenith said, even if now 100 years, I'm ready to work with you guys till I even retire. Because man, this is a very, very huge opportunity for me. Like me getting that moderator role was like very, very crazy. Like my portfolio now will be looking so nice. Like me working with such a project, man, that's crazy. Like big shout out to you, Alien. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Like I'm so, so, so grateful. Like you have no idea what you did for me, and big shout out to you. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Bitcoin OS. Big shout out to Yego. Oh, you guys are geniuses. Like you guys are so smart. I swear. Like, how did you guys even pull this off? Like, yeah, I know it must have taken years of research, but man, you guys still pulled it off, and that's really huge. And I don't know why when I do talk about Bitcoin OS to some people, they're like, I don't really know how to put this, but I don't. They don't fully grasp what you guys are building. Because ever since I discovered what you guys are building, I'm like, every other project that people are like shilling my way, every other alpha, I'm not really interested because I know that Bitcoin OS is gonna like take me to where I'm trying to like get to. It's just gonna take some time. So big shout out to you guys for bringing all these kind of opportunities to us, and big shout out to DCA. Almost anything they try you, see what you find, guy. Oh, big shout out to us, man. Like, we're really gonna like, change the whole world, and we're at the forefront, and it's crazy how so many like we're just like 20 something on this, okay, but like 30 something right now listening. So, I'm like always shocked that, people are not really hyped about this project because you guys are really like doing something really crazy, and I'm just bullish on you guys, and I can't wait for mainnet and everything to just like happen, and the opportunities you guys are gonna bring. I saw something about a meme coin called Anime. That is like, I think you guys want to like that would be the first meme coin to be launched on Bitcoin after the mainnet. So you guys are doing a lot of things, and it's crazy because I know that, yeah, when Bitcoin OS goes live, developers will want to like work with other blockchains because Bitcoin is the god chain of every other chain, so everybody will just want to move on to Bitcoin. So what would that mean for the price of Bitcoin? Like, it's going to be crazy. I know Andrew was talking about, okay, not Andrew. I think I watched the video. Someone was okay, yeah, Diego posted the video where someone was saying that Bitcoin could reach like 250K this cycle, and I was like, no ways, it's going to like go way past 250K. It's going to reach like 500K, if not a million. Like, we don't really know what's actually happening on the ground. So yeah, I don't really have much to say, guys. I'm just like, I'm just, chilling. I'm just being patient. And I'm just like waiting, and I'm learning from you guys. And big shout out to you guys, man. Thank you.
Hey Jason, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the high praise, of course. And yeah, I really wanna bounce off one of the things you said about Bitcoin OS. It's like, why is nobody talking about this? This is a feeling that I got about Bitcoin OS as well back when I was still joining the team. So just many months back when Bitcoin OS was still like much smaller than it was, I was having very much the same feeling. I was working as a journalist, and it was just a project that had really caught my eye, and I thought, wait a minute, like this is going to change the entire nature of like uh, Bitcoin and its relationship with crypto as we know it. And it was something that stuck out to me, and yet in my experience, when I tried expressing what this was to say, even just some of the other Bitcoin builders in the space, it just seemed to be kind of waved off. And it's been very exciting for me because even though you seem to think that, oh, it's not getting much acknowledgement, uh, it's come a long way from what it was before. And it's gotten to a point where people that kind of wish they could have ignored Bitcoin OS before, they really can't ignore it anymore. Because the thing about Bitcoin OS is that when you have a technology that brings such a huge amount of change to the relationship between Bitcoin and crypto and how this whole space is going to work, it disrupts a lot of people's plans. And so a lot of people, they think that's not going to be good for them, or that it strikes them as something that's scary. And because what we're doing in building the trustless connection of other blockchains, because it was viewed as impossible for something like 10 years, when we come to people and say, look, we've done it and we're building it, and it's about to get here, they like to spread FUD, and they'll say, we don't believe it and it can't possibly be happening. Especially because Bitcoin OS is it's kind of an outsider team, right? Like Bitcoin OS doesn't really have any really, but like it's not being spearheaded by somebody who's already a super well established name and big KOL in the Bitcoin space. And so, when we poke our heads up and say we just built this thing and we built it faster than everybody else, it can be very frustrating for people to listen to. But that's why having people like you, Jason, and all of you people, you lovely listeners, spreading the word about us is so important, because it makes us more undeniable every day. So I'm grateful for all of you. Aliens, you take it away.
Wow, that was so sweet, Andrew. And yes, we are very, very grateful for all of you guys. Like we've expressed time and time again, like the community is the backbone, like 100%. And we recognize that, and we appreciate you guys, and we see your advocacy. We see all the posts you guys are making, all the comments you guys are making, all your advocacy across all platforms, even through just like educating, answering questions in our communities. All of these things, we see it and we appreciate it greatly. I think that, like you, Andrew, like when I first was onboarded to Bitcoin OS, I was like, "Oh, this is crazy. This is absolutely wild." Like what's being done here is 100% going to disrupt the entire ecosystem. Like because everybody's going to benefit. Like like we've mentioned multiple times, it's like that 1.9T that's been sitting dormant is going to flow into the entire Web3 ecosystem, and everybody is going to get piece of the cake. And not even just that, right? It's like we're going to see possibilities on Bitcoin that we would have never imagined happening even like 2 3 years ago. So it's absolutely wild. And I think that the entire crypto world and others is going to wake up to kind of see what we're doing in a very short period of time. So we really, really appreciate like everybody's support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Zenith, you've had your hand up for quite some time. I also just want to let you guys know, just so that we can keep time. I want everybody to make sure that everybody has a chance to like speak. So if you guys could just please make sure that we're keeping like time on a schedule. You're not speaking for like 10 minutes at a time. No shade to anyone, not throwing anybody under the bus, by the way, when I say that. Just want everybody to have a chance to speak. So Zenith, the mic is yours, my friend.
Okay, yeah. I heard Jesse talking, but I actually wanted to add to what DeFi producer was talking about trading. Yeah, but talking about Bitcoin OS, I remember earlier. I don't know if you've forgotten that is this midnight space we entered. You were there, so I came to join you there while you were speaking. I never knew that the space wasn't for shilling. I went and talked about Bitcoin OS. Yeah, they threw me out of the speaker. So it's funny, honestly, it's funny. But look at Bitcoin OS has really gone a long way right now, guys. The project has gone a long way, and there is a lot of thread on a daily basis that is being, spread, written for the project. So yeah, the project has gone a long way. But that's by the way. And like Elian said, there is no need wasting much time here. So I just wanted to talk about what DeFi producer was saying. And Mr. CJ is down there. I don't know why he's there, but he's supposed to be up here, because I was in a space with him yesterday, me, him, and DeFi producer. So DeFi producer was actually the one who talked about Bitcoin OS on that space. Mr. CJ happened to co-host the space, yeah. So thank you, Elian, for the big support. Andrew, everybody that is here, thank you, guys. And what I wanted to say is for the trading. Yeah, actually, what happened why I lost that money is because I wasn't the one who made the analysis for the trade. So I was so busy that week. Yeah, there are a lot of spaces, meeting for the DCA community, spaces for me, and a whole lot. So I just needed to, on Bybit Exchange, I went gave those robots. There are some robot there, automated robot there that can actually trade for you while you are away. So I gave the robot the money to neutral. Yeah, is on future neutral trading. Yeah, 10x. So so I went, I gave the robot the stuff, and while I was in space, what was her name? Precious, was telling me, Zenith, go and check on the trade. We are losing money there. I said, okay, when I'm done with the space, I'll go and check on the trade. So when I was done with space and I went there, I saw that I was having zero balance. She lost her portfolio. I lost the money that I deposited on Bybit. So that day it was a I don't know. I didn't know, like, I didn't know what to do. I just embraced the, like, what really happened, and yeah. So thank you, guys. If you have anything to say, please, you can always request for the mic. I love the fact this is not the tech side of Bitcoin OS, because I would have been on the listener section by now. So yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you.
I think this space has turned into a Bitcoin OS appreciation space. which I'm loving it so much right now. I'm loving it. Like we've I know Andrew can definitely attest to this, that we've had like quite a bit of like a negative sentiment for a little bit of time. So just to kind of like get so much positivity around Bitcoin OS has just been, it's so refreshing and so appreciated. But all right, we've got quite a few hands up. So I think it was David and then Israel, then we'll go Sage, and then we'll go Decrypt. So David, welcome to the stage, my friend. The mic is yours. David, hello. The mic is yours, my friend. All right. Well, the mic will be yours when you're back and not rugging, which is okay. Israel, let's hear from you, my friend. Welcome to the stage.
GM, good evening, guys.
Good evening. Good to see you.
Thank you so much, Ilian, for giving me the opportunity. Actually, I've been attending a lot of spaces with you guys, and finally, I'm up on the speaker role today. So, shout out to Bitcoin OS, Ilian, Andrew, Robert, and the all others. Zenith, I see you guys all. I thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm here to talk about Bitcoin OS because of the topic. Actually, I have a topic is mastering the art of trading, right? So, but actually, Bitcoin OS has been doing a lot. I sent the pre-sale link to someone to register. He just laughed and said that pre-sale is the fastest way to lose your money. I was kind of, are you joking? Yeah, how about analysis? Is it every coin that once you participate in the pre-sale that you lose your money? He didn't say anything, so I just let it be. So coming back to mastering the art of trading, actually I don't I don't find interest trading on spots because I don't have the patience of holding for long actually. And I believe that once you're trying to upscale your portfolio, spot trading doesn't give you what you want because I don't have that patience. I can't wait for that long. So that is just it. So rather I go for the futures trading. So what my advice to whoever is trading is when you want to trade, whether futures or on spot, you have to carry out analysis. Yes. So if you take a look at some coins, you notice that the volume they generate aren't that much. So some tokens might move by 30% while those tokens which don't have enough volume can um you want to go for those which can move higher percentage. Same thing goes to
Is
spot.
are we
So
rugging or?
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm rugging or if it's you, Israel. Does Andrew, can you help me out?
Yeah. Israel, you were breaking up a little bit, so we could hear some of what you were saying, and then you blank out for like a few seconds. So it was kind of hard to catch all that.
Okay, okay. I think it's my network. So what I was saying was that some tokens actually when there's a pump, some tokens actually pump, let's say 30%. That is those tokens that has large trading volume, and they are also like they are good tokens. They have fundamentals, right? While some can only move by 15% or 10%, even when everything is about 30% in the market. So you want to go for those kind of tokens, which usually moves when Bitcoin is moving or when there's a pump, right? So That is one thing to check, and mostly there are those coins which has fundamentals. If you are to trade on spots, then I believe you should flip. Well, there's what we call flipping in trading. That is, you are not holding for long. You just decide to buy a token. The price is at, let me say, 0.5 or $10. Then you just hold it. Once it gets to 12, $15, you just sell, and that's all. You're out. So that is what flipping is. So you just wait for the pump and sell off, and you're out of the market, not holding for months, like 6 months, a year, and all the rest. Because most people that have bought some coins ending of last year and beginning of this month, their bags is so down. I can say it's just 20% that is left. So that is just that is just it. And I noticed that when coins are pumping, then you should not FOMO and say you want to join. That is if you are a futures trader, even if you are a spot trader. Though spot you might not be at risk because it can always pump back to your entry. But if you are a futures trader, just don't do that. Don't FOMO and go into the market. You will lose all your money. So that is just it. Once you miss the pump, just let it be. That is just what I learned. And most times I've noticed this severally, not once, not twice. Um Tokens sometimes they pump at midnight, that is around 2 to 3 p.m. That is whenever there's a dip like this, like the previous dip that happened, and this one that happened yesterday. You notice that around 2 or 3 p.m. at night, they always start pumping. So you always want to look out for those times so that you don't miss out. But you have to still carry out proper analysis, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So that is just what I have to say. There are a lot of things, but because of the time for others to also have the opportunity to speak. So thank you so much, Ilian, for the opportunity. Thank you, Bitcoin OS. I really love this community. That's why I always try my best to show up whenever there's a space and whatever we are doing here. So I really love you guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity. GG's, guys.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Israel. Much appreciated. I'm not too familiar with futures trading or anything like that, so that was definitely some good insights you shared with us. It's much appreciated, and always it's good to have you up on the speaker. I think this is like the first time you came up, like you mentioned. So you're always kind of just like listening in on our community calls and spaces. So it was nice to finally hear from you. But all right, so. We've got quite a few hands up right now. David, because you rugged, I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak, and then we're going to go to Sage, and then from Sage, we'll go to Decrypt, and then Intelligent. David, the mic is yours.
GM everyone, GM Alien, Andrew, Jason, Zenith, everyone in the space. It's great to be here and it's loving to see everyone here. Thanks for the love. The love you guys are sharing to Bitcoin is massive and that is very great. So I'll be very brief concerning the topic mastering.
I think we're losing you
What
there
are
again, David.
hear
You're
me?
rugging. Yes, but you're rugging slightly. But yes, go ahead.
Okay. So in trading generally what I'll say is trading itself is kind of personal to individuals and you need to understand yourself. Then when it comes to crypto trading, there are different kinds of crypto trading. We have DG, we have those that hold and the rest of that, those that do features and the rest of that. So you need to understand yourself, your risk appetite, um, how much control do you have over your emotions and the rest of that. Then you choose what type will favor you because in the long run you want to be profitable and you don't want to lose your whole box to to the market. So you just need to know what works for you and stick to it. Then you need a lot of knowledge. You need knowledge and you need information. So that is what I'll be sharing concerning trading. Then concerning Bitcoin US itself, what I'll just say in short is, Bitcoin US has a vision, and this is a vision a lot of people are finding it difficult to understand or to comprehend or to even accept. So I just have my favorite saying is just that you need to believe in your vision yourself till it becomes reality that other believes in it. So that is all I have in short. Shout out to the teams of Bitcoin US and all the supporters.
Thank you so much, David. Really, really appreciate having you up, and always appreciate all your contributions. So thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to hearing more from you in the upcoming spaces as well. So let's go to Sage. Welcome, Sage. My friend, so good to see you. The mic is yours.
Okay. GM, everybody good. GM, yeah. GM Million. And Andrew. Um, yeah, Norbert. So everyone in the space though. Happy to be here. I'm always joining this space because probably I'm most of the time free. I mean, so 6 p.m. most of the time I'm literally like always into something, quite into something. I think I missed the last space and I promised I was going to be here. And I also came here for two things. So first of all, I'm going to contribute to the topic. Secondly, I'm going to ask my Nigerian brothers here who have started teaching alien or pigeon because I don't rest in my DMs. You people should leave her alone, please. Don't teach her pigeon again. I know she likes to learn, but please, let's minimize it.
Is it that
Actually,
bad?
Good. It's good with the pigeon, I must say that.
it's
Bro, you
not
don't
it's
know
not
what?
how bad.
No, let her take us
It's not how
forward.
bad. All right, no problem. No problem. No problem. But yeah, so great one though. So secondly, the heart of trading. So I wanted to be sure, like, is it futures trading? I still love to talk about futures trading, or it's more of on-chain analysis or on-chain trading. What we're talking about, on-chain or futures.
Anything, whatever insight you have to offer on any of that.
All right, cool. I do a lot. I do a lot of things. So I do futures trading. I do on-chain trading, degenerate, right? So I'm more solid on futures trading, right? So, but when it comes to on-chain, I had earlier I'm talking about na what's let me Nasin, right? June and some other like on-chain indicators you could use to like check out. So I spoke with I think the partnership, the business developer of Nansen some couple of weeks ago, and we had like a great talk around what they had up on chain, right, on Nansen and the ability of like what you can do using Nansen to analyze tokens, check out like real-time tokens, all of that. So I think that when it comes to the how to trading, it's all around your skill, how you can literally find solid tokens that you can buy, put in your money by, and also how you can take risks. So I've quite been trading a lot of times. Like I came from forex trading, and I moved to futures trading, crypto. I traded stocks. I traded futures, like perpetual. I know there's a difference between perpetual and futures. What we do in crypto is perpetual trading. We're talking about futures trading. Talking about trading Nasdaq, trading platinum, trading crude oil. Right? You feel me? So like I traded platinum some couple of days back. Yeah, so more like my swing trades, right? But when it comes to trading, even whether in Degen, on-chain, futures, forex, it boils down to one thing I literally tell people: risk management, very important. Now, while you've done all your on-chain analysis, while you've done all your analysis, scouts, you've done your scouting, your scanning with different boards and a lot of you understand. So I still fall into rugs. and you still fall into the worst thing on the ports. So it tells you that it's not really not about the on-chain analysis, but it goes a long way how you're able to manage your funds like properly. Are you able to manage your portfolio properly? So take for instance, like what I do as a person, if I have like $1,000 portfolio, I ask myself genuinely, Sage, this 1,000 portfolio, you know that it's gone, right? Because it's gone. It's not something I want to use for the future anymore. You just tell yourself it's gone, right? Even though there's any profit that's gonna come out of it, but I tell myself just to let myself know that this money is gone. So be calm. So when you're losing the money, be calm. When you're in profit, be calm because it's gone. So whatever you take out of it, good, right? It makes sense. But if you've not started trading with it, but you want to just trade it, it's gone. So I tell myself, okay, how many trades can I take with $1,000 before I go off the grid, before all the money goes? So how many trade do I take? So probably I get to split my $1,000 maybe into 20, right? So that I'm going to be entering trade $50 per trade, right? Or entering the trade, okay, I'll take like 10 trades. That's $100 per trade. So I go analyze my token and APN. So one of the things I tell people, if you're a very good researcher, you're good at analyzing on-chain analyst, you're solid with it, you'll be able to like at least out of 10 trades get like at least say 50 to 70 wins. Maybe 7 trade does well, if not so well, you understand? So that literally works. Then second thing I look into, I pay attention is that I don't like to FOMO. Let me tell you some things. I missed some certain tokens. I missed CAR, CAR, yeah, the African Republic token. I was sleeping. I was on my bed. I was sleeping. I woke up. I saw some news. I was like, my God, what am I doing with my life? Am I really into crypto? Am I really into crypto? So I missed Trump too, guys. Very heartbreaking. It might be like, oh, why will you miss Trump? But I did. I did. It was painful. I wasn't on my bed. Funny enough, I wasn't on my bed that time. Don't call me a sleepyhead. I wasn't on my bed. I was literally awake. And when I checked, I saw it moving. I was like, oh, just Trump. It might go down. And it didn't go down. It got to $80. I'm like, man. So, but one of the things I don't like to FOMO. I honestly don't like to FOMO. I love to, if it's gone, it's gone. I just go sleep. Yeah, I'm a sleepy. Don't worry. I just go sleep. I don't bother myself. Or I just go out, go eat something, just forget about it, play games. Yeah. So I miss Trump. But one of the things I love to do is that if I'm in a trade, I love to set my take profit and loss rule. I have a take profit and loss rule. I have a journal where I write my trades down, right? Both futures and degen. I love to set my take profit rules. On this trade, I know it's very risky. It's very crazy, tough narrative. Man, 2x is good for me. I'm upping out. After 2x, man, because if you don't do that, you make 2x. Okay, I can still stay. You make 3x. Okay, I will still stay. You make 4x. And when you're getting to the 5th x, the market tells you, I own the market. You can't play me. And it's a rug. And you are gone. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So I tell myself, I have a take profit rule. I have a take profit rule. I have a stop loss rule, right? When I'm already taking too much of losses, I'm not hard. I'm not a tough guy. I'm emotional. So I can't keep my token to 0. No, I won't do that. I would come out because I can become a crybaby sometimes. So I will come out. So I don't keep my I don't keep my token to 0. So when I have maybe I'm down like 60% on my trade, I just come out. Like I just swap, I just sell. You understand? So these are the things I feel like would help you. And when you have like a journal too, it helps you. You're able to write down your psychology, the psychological mode, why you took that token or why you took that trade. Because like for me, I don't trade on Saturdays and Sundays. I just like backtest. I look at the token, do a little bit of research, and just rest trade on Saturdays, Sundays. I'm not like Alien that works all through the week. Yeah, no, I'm not. I won't do that. Alien can work, so I wouldn't do that. But I just like to like take my time and also analyze properly, and also like set like proper risk management. Also set like good take profit rules, and you understand those things will help you right? Because the space is very crazy, and the market is there to take your money, not to help you make money. But you have to play the game smart. So that's what I would say today, right? So it's amazing speaking on this space once more. Bitcoin OS is an amazing project. Don't worry, you start get. I'm just trying to work on my blue tick because I don't know. It's been an issue, right? So once I'm able to set my blue tick, I'll start writing like long form tweet about Bitcoin. Yeah, because I love trading Bitcoin on futures a lot. And I love what the ZK proof that I'm seeing right now, the integration of ZK proof into Bitcoin OS and all of the amazing technologies and technicalities. I love to talk about it. So very soon, once I'm able to do my blue tick, I'm able to like write a lot of long form tweets. Yeah. Thank you so much, Andrew. Hand is up. Andrew want to screw me. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Thanks a lot for that, Sage. Thank you for the praise of Bitcoin OS. I can't wait to see some of your threads later. First of all, I want to say I can relate on the how bad you feel about missing Trump coin. I mean, when Trump coin happened and it surged up to like, what was it? It was somewhere in the top 20. I know that. I got an earful from my brother. My brother was like, Andrew, aren't you supposed to be the Bitcoin one in the family? Aren't you supposed to tell me about these opportunities? How could you miss this? Don't you always pay attention to the news? Isn't your eyes always on the charts? What happened, man? And then, yeah, I felt bad about that one. Felt like I failed the bloodline on that one. But to relate it back to the trading question, though, I did want to ask you. You said you set rules for yourself, which I think is very intelligent. It's a way to keep your emotions out of the trading game. I wanted to ask you, do you have any rules for yourself around how would I say this, portfolio management or diversification? Like, do you have any rules around, like, you know, if something gets to a certain size in my portfolio, I'll let it go, or if something gets too small, I'll rebalance it? How do you think about balancing your portfolio? Do you have a section where it's like, this is my blue chip, and then this is my risk element, and this is how big I'm willing to let each section get? How do you think about it?
All right. So yeah, I do. So like the early days when I started trading, I kinda always eat every money that's quite low. Trust me. If I want to buy a token and I see that if I want to make a 5x from that token, right, from with the money in my portfolio, right, and it would amount to anything, man, I let it go. Right. So let me just give you like a quick checkbook, like quick check mark, right, in how you can like manage your portfolio properly. So take for instance, you have like $1,000, just in $1,000. Not that I have $1,000, me and my $1 to the world, right? So, but it's just $1,000. So, take for instance, you have $1,000 right now, and you want to like grow it. Say you want to like do well with it. One of the things I pay attention is that I look out for low market cap tokens. Now, the reason is that, and not just low market cap tokens, but low market cap tokens that have like solid utility, but just trying to build up. So I look out for them, and I use about 30% of my portfolio in investing in at least 3 of those low market cap volumes. Now, 3 is just like an average. My max is 5. Right, so I get to like split those now 30% of my portfolio, right? Then the remaining 30% of my portfolio, right, when it comes to trading, I look into tokens that are quite moving, like top narrative, the hype narratives, right? The trending tokens, the ones that can happen and coming. This time I keep my trading rules and take profit rules. So I use another 30% for that. So that's a whole 60% gone. And I keep my 40% because anything happens. Imagine I get to like lose all of them. What would I run to? Would I run to your DMs to ask for funds? No, so I just get to keep 40%. Now, 40% is my emergency funds, right? Maybe I need to like help myself do something, a quick kind of investment. I get to like jump on it, or probably something that I get to have like a very early alpha about something, and I know that yes, it's quite solid. I try to throw like maybe some percentage of the 40% into, right? So that's the way I grow my portfolio, and it's been helping me, right? Been helping me. I remember when I was working for I was a portfolio manager, although this was like in crypto trading, right? For a particular tech company based in the US, right? It's a tech company. They were into development, like coding, um, applications, all of that. So, but needed like a portfolio manager. So I worked with that company for about a year plus, right? And while I worked with them, they wanted to grow 1,000K, like $1,000, not what I'm saying, $100,000, sorry, yeah, $100,000, like wanted to grow that. So what I did was very simple. I didn't buy BTC because BTC at that time was around something $1,000. So if I bought one BTC, it's like waste of money for me, right? Because if I have to wait till it gets to like maybe $140,000 before it does a 1x or 2x for me. So I just had to do, what I did was that I think the greatest mistake I ever did was I accumulated like about 30% of the portfolio in Ethereum, and that's bad. That was bad for me. Although I had to sell some Ethereum, but for me, true me, it was bad because it was very bad move. Ethereum literally did not do so much well, but at least I used about 10 to 20% for Ethereum. Then the remaining like 10 to 20% I used to buy harder. I got harder very early. That was going to Pondas Cardano. I bought XHLP too very early too. Then I bought Ondo, right? I bought the Ondo very early too. So I used that to just split into local market cap tokens, right? And one of the tokens I also bought at the beginning of at the ending of last year before the election was Core DAO, like Core. I bought Core, right? I bought Core very well, and I held Core from when it was around 0 point something and it pumped to like almost $1, right? So it's really portfolio because I already had a lot of these tokens like in bulk for the company, and it grew that portfolio like crazy well. So if you're looking at building a portfolio, I think you should be able to first of all look into like make a lot of research about low market cap tokens for that are trending and have solid utility. One of which I would advise is gaming. Gaming will do crazily well, right? Because gaming is it's quite having a very good narrative here. So you can look into gaming, low market cap tokens, right? And you can spend the rest of the money on maybe trying to trade like trendy tokens, look for your 2x, 3x come out, 4x come out, and just rest. You stand that's just like a little bit of fast growth. Then the remaining of your 40% you can hold it for some probably little pre-sales, maybe early half hours from your guys. You're just gonna cook and all of that, so you don't get stranded. Yeah, and so then you can rest. That's it. I hope I answered your question.
That was great, Sage. Thank you very much.
Sage coming up on the speaker role as a Sage, man. Dropping some crazy alpha there. Much appreciated, Sage. Always good to have you. And yeah, no, thank you so much. And one thing that you said that stuck out with me too is obviously don't invest what you're not willing to lose, right? So like going in with the mindset of like this is already like gone out the window, I think definitely helps with like emotional control, and just not identifying, right? I feel like the second that we start identifying is the second that basically shit goes out the window. But one thing that you and I both do that I really love, because when we met, Sage, actually we were in a space that was like we were talking. I think the topic was about trading, and one thing that we both said that we do. Granted, has it helped me significantly? I don't know what, but one thing that we both do is that before we go into a trade, we basically have kind of like a trading journal. We write down everything that took place for that trade, right? So if I did sentiment analysis and what that looked like, if I did fundamental analysis and what that looked like, what's happening macroeconomically that is taking place during that time of the trade, right? What strategies do I have, right? Like, so am I gonna once at 2x, am I taking out basically my investment, and then the rest is house money, right? So it's like I basically have a journal where I write down my entire strategy, my thoughts, my emotional state, macroeconomics, like what's going on globally once again. And then from there, what happens with that is once the trade goes through and, I eventually exit the trade, so on and so forth, I can actually go in and refine and crystallize those strategies so that I'm making better decisions. So that's definitely something that's helped me with trading. But yeah, honest to God, I haven't been trading much. Last cycle, I was trading significantly and utilizing those strategies. I was able to, I made a pretty big bag. Granted, I also had a lot of mistakes. I was one of those people that I was like, I believe in this project, man. It was a meme coin project. And I was like, I believe in this meme coin project. This shit is going to go to the moon. I was one of those people. And you know what? That ended up in me like losing out on so much just so much liquidity. I could have walked away with a big bag, but because I was like one of those people that I was like I'm holding till the death. Like I'm holding till the grave of me, and that kind of ended up like screwing me. So you have to be realistic. I think you genuinely have to be realistic, especially when it comes to meme coins. It's like, come on. I don't know what took a hold of my brain during that time. I must have been sick, guys. I must have actually been sick for like quite a few months or something, because something was wrong with me. But regardless, you live and you learn, right? Like no mistake is a mistake if you look at it through the perception of like learning. So I've learned from that experience. That will never be me again, unless it's Bitcoin. Unless it's Bitcoin. We're longing Bitcoin till the very end, guys. We're longing Bitcoin till the very end. Um, but let's go back to our speaker roles. Actually, you know what? I was going to share with you guys. So a lot of you have already been in here. So a lot of you know that we're running a sprint on Zeely. And one of the tasks for today that I can share with you is a secret code for this space. So that secret code is HODL, HODL. So you guys can take that. You guys can go and put it into the task, the WebB Academy secret code task, and that should be able to give you, I think it's like 200 plus points or something. So once again, that's just a cheeky little appreciation for our beautiful community here. Because as you guys know, our Zeely Sprint is incentivized. At the end of the month, the top 5 on the leadership board is going to walk away with $200 in USDC each. And if this is successful, if we actually find that there's a lot of participants here, we're actually going to be continuing this for the next couple of months. And maybe we'll bring in different rewards as well. Who knows? Um, but you know what, guys? Like before we continue here, I did want to talk about like something that's like very important, which is scams and hacks and preventing those two things from taking place. So. And again, this is a big shout out to Michael K. Some of you were already in that space, but some of you weren't. We actually hosted a space about like scam, hacks, fraud prevention, all of that. And Michael K from Consensus, who is the senior business development manager there, he also leads product safety at MetaMask. He came on and he shared a lot of crazy security alpha. A lot of them was like Web 2 related, but obviously Web 2, Web 3, we're merging those two together. So regardless, it was a lot of great information. So I wanted to share a little bit about that today. So just a couple quick points so that we can move on to the rest of the speakers. But so the first thing that I want to mention with scams and hacks, first of all, is if you're doing the due diligence, right? You're learning technical analysis. You're learning how to read charts and patterns, indicators, things of that nature. You're putting the effort into fundamental analysis, sentiment analysis. You're looking at, going in different communities and seeing what the engagement level is like, things of that nature. You're putting in so much time and effort into your research. You're also putting so much time and effort into making your hard-earned money. You also need to do the due diligence towards making sure that your assets are protected, right? That your assets are safe, because this space is extremely abundant in scams. Like we know this. I mean, the scammers are getting so creative and innovative in the way that they are choosing to operate, and they are scamming people left and right. I think there was well over $60 billion in scams in 2024. 60 bill. That's like that's mind-boggling. That's mind-boggling. And a lot of the times like getting scammed typically tends to be due down to human error, right? So there's a variety of things that we can do to protect ourselves, both in Web 2 and Web 3. So Web 2 related, what I'll mention to you guys is to always use a VPN. And for those of you that don't know what a VPN is, it's a virtual private network. So what it does is it basically it encrypts your personal data. It encrypts your identity online. Um, and a great platform that I could recommend here is Mullvad VPN. And the reason why Mullvad is preferred over to the other, like NordVPN, AVG VPN, why it's preferred is because Mullvad actually doesn't ask for any of your personal information, like none of it. You literally just pay for the service and that's that. Whereas with like
Claire,
NordVPN,
you're rugging.
oh, I'm rugging? That sucks. Do you hear me?
No,
All
we
good
can all
now?
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right, so I was talking about Mullvad VPN. Did you guys hear that part?
There was about 20 seconds there where you just went silent.
Ah, okay. All right, so I was talking about like Mullvad VPN, which is basically, yeah, it's why I recommend Mullvad VPN over different VPNs like AVG VPN or NordVPN is because they don't ask for any of your personal information. You just pay for the service and it's pretty much good to go. Whereas with AVG or like Nord, they actually ask for your personal information, like your name, like your email address, phone number, things of that nature, right? Which kind of goes against the whole purpose of like having a VPN and like hiding your identity online. So I highly recommend checking out Mullvad. You can actually pay for it in crypto. I believe it's $5 a month. And what's really great about it too is if you have multiple devices, that membership that you paid for basically can transfer to every single device that you have. So highly recommend checking out Mullvad VPN. Some other tools too that I would recommend too is this one has been great and I've been using it every single day since I learned about it is Browserling. What this does is you can basically go on their website and you can put in any website at all. So let's say somebody like messages you in your DMs and they're like, hey, like I have this project, come check it out. We want to hire you, right? Typical bullshit we see in the space. You'll take that link, you'll go to Browserling, you'll put that link into their service, and what they do is it's kind of like a virtual machine that opens up a website inside of their in their local servers. So it won't be local to your device, but it'll be opened up on their servers. So you'll basically like be able to see like what that website is without it actually being opened up on your own device. So that's been so helpful for me. Obviously, as a head of community, I get like a lot of different links and stuff, but I recommend it to you guys as well. I think it will definitely come in handy. And then pentester.com. So if you go to pentester.com and you put in your information like your email address or like your phone number, what it'll do is it'll actually go and search the entire dark web to see if any of your information has been leaked, which 90% of the time, if you've been on Web2 platforms, there has been a leak here and there, like most likely. I mean, I went and I checked like with my personal information, and a lot of my old passwords were leaked. Luckily, my phone number wasn't leaked. But if your phone number was leaked, this is going to be the most important thing for you to like listen to here. There's something called SIM swapping. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you don't own your phone number. The service provider owns your phone number, right? So let's say your personal information was linked, your phone number was leaked on the dark web. Now every single platform that you used as where your phone number was a verification source, right? Like a lot of us use this, you're in trouble, because what they can do now is they have all this information about you. They have your phone number, they have maybe like your old passwords, they have maybe like your old address, right? They can go to your phone service provider and be like, hey, my name is XYZ, this is my old password, I don't have access to my account anymore. Is there any way you could like change my passwords and like help me out, give me the account information? So because they have that information, that might suffice, that might be enough for them to convince the service provider that they are you, right? So now once they have access to your phone number, guess what, guys? They'll go on all those platforms, right? Even your Web3 platforms, your exchanges, so on and so forth, where you've used your phone number as a verification source. They'll use that and they'll get access to every single one of those accounts. And now you're screwed. So I highly recommend going to pentester.com and, just putting in your information and seeing if there's um, anything that's been leaked there, that might work against you, right? So that's very important. And then your passwords. So there's a password manager platform called Bitwarden. It's free. It's completely free to use, and I highly recommend it. Use that to manage your passwords. It has it basically offers a service where oh, Norbert's heading out. See you later, Norbert. Good to have you, my friend. Um, so it basically offers a service where, or a tool where it can kind of create your passwords for you, right? Like with a variety of different numbers and letters and so on and so forth. So I highly recommend going to Bitwarden, creating an account and storing all your passwords on that platform. And also don't use the same password for every single account, right? Like make sure every single account has a different password. And you're like, well, that's so much to manage. That's why I recommend utilizing a platform like Bitwarden that can kind of help mitigate that, right? There is a tool called Wallet Guard that you can use on your laptop or your PC. It's a browser extension, and what it actually does is, let's say you're just like surfing the internet, like navigating the internet. Um, like let's say you kind of almost come across like some kind of like phishing scam or something along those lines. That browser extension, Wallet Guard, will actually detect that and prevent you from actually making that transaction, right? Because it's going to alert you. And so it basically helps you transact with like just more confidence overall. So I highly recommend checking that out. I think last year they prevented over $60 million in scams, which is major. So it doesn't require you to download anything. It's just a browser extension that you can clip to Chrome. You don't need to share your wallet information or anything along those lines. And another one too that I would recommend too is a platform called Virus Total. So Virus Total, you could take any PDF or any document, any link, anything that you've been sent, you can take it to this platform and upload it. And now what it'll do is, utilizing 60 different antivirus programs, it'll scan that file to see if there's any malicious, like any malicious, if it's a malicious file, right? If there's any malware, things of that nature. So that's also a fantastic platform to use. And then obviously from there, guys, I mean, they're obviously very much targeting people who are looking for work, right? Like, especially like I've mentioned this time and time again in spaces, but a lot of us, like once we come into the Web3 space, we become obsessed. We become hooked. This becomes our entire life. We want nothing but to pretty much work in this space. We want everything. We just want to be in the space, right? To like the utmost potential. So they understand that, and they are absolutely targeting people who are vulnerable, right? The job market right now, guys, I don't even want to discuss that. It is insane. The job market is insane. There's people who have like PhDs and like extreme experience, like years and years and years of experience, but they've been unemployed for like 2 years. They've been unemployed for like 6 months. They've applied to like 5,000 jobs. They've done like 100, 200, 300, 400 interviews, and yet they're still not making like making any moves, right? They're still not able to get a job. So the job market is extremely tough right now, and these scammers are aware of that, and they're very much targeting those people, right? So if you're getting DMs, hey, I'm so and so project, I work for so and so project, we want to bring you on as a community manager. Oh, you're a content creator. We're looking for KOLs. They're very much going to target pretty much everybody in the space, right? And so it's really important that once you see that, go directly to the source, right? Let's say somebody from Bitcoin OS reaches out to you, go directly to Bitcoin OS, message them, wait for a response to see, hey, somebody from your team supposedly reached out to me. Is this who they claim to be, right? Always go to the source. And that just doesn't go with like just Web3 as well. With Web2 too, if you get emails, weird emails that say, "Oh yeah, like your assets have been moved from XYZ," go directly to that platform, right? Go and check and make sure. Don't like have some like you this space very much, not only with trading but just with like scam prevention, very much requires you to have as much emotional control as you possibly can. Have conviction in your own, like listen to your intuition, you know what I mean, and double, triple, quadruple think everything out. um just so that just so that you're as safe as possible, just so that you are as cautious as possible. And then obviously, guys, we know this completely. Um, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And also just don't be clicking on any links, right? Like just don't be clicking on any links. But if you must click on the link, like I said, take that link, go to browser link, and then paste it in there. Let browser link open up that link on their own personal servers, and then you can kind of see and navigate if this is legit, right? So there's a variety of different tools that you can utilize to protect yourself. And then my final last recommendation too is if you can have two separate devices, right? One device that let's say you have like an old phone, right? Like what I would recommend is go to that old phone, wipe it clean, wipe it completely clean. And then you can and make sure that this device specifically isn't one that you use online, right? Like you don't use it to have Telegram, WhatsApp, WeChat, you don't use it on Discord, you don't navigate like any kind of social media platforms, anything, right? This device is purely for trading only. That way, you know for sure you have so much more confidence that your assets are actually going to be secure, right? Um, and then your other device, that one can be used for everything, right? Like social media, Discord, so on and so forth. You can engage with it online. But what's great about that is you don't have to worry because your assets are not on that phone, right? So if you have the ability to do that, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Because like I said, guys, it's like you work so hard for your money. You work so hard for this inflated bullshit fiat currency that we have. You work so hard for it. And you know what like and not only that, but like your time is so valuable. Like you are valuable. You are an absolute valuable asset. So make sure that you move with that mindset and that ethos about yourself, and make sure that you're preventing doing everything you can to protect your assets, right? And also this also goes for people that you're onboarding. Like please, for the love of God, if you are onboarding anybody into crypto, please make sure that the number one thing that you highlight here is these scams that are taking place, these types of hacks that are taking place, and what they can do to protect themselves. Because if you let's say you bring in your mom and dad and you don't tell them about anything, nine out of 10 times they're going to fall for some bullshit scam. So it's really important that anybody that you're onboarding, you also make sure that you're educating them every step of the way regarding this, because this space, once again, is abundant with scams and hacks. So with that, guys, I just wanted to just share that with all of you. And I know that you guys have already heard a lot of this before, but it's always just a good little reminder, right? So we had Decrypt and then we had Intelligent. So let's go into that. Decrypt, the mic is yours if you still wanted to chat. Uh Decrypt, the mic is yours, my friend. Are you there? Going once, going twice, going three times. All right. Whenever you're back, the mic is yours. But Intelligent, are you there, my friend? Welcome.
Hello, GM everyone.
GM, good to see you.
I think I was very early in the space. I pretty much booked a seat. Told you I was going to come with a hot dog and stuff. So, I'm going to try and keep it simple. I've been taking those. First of all, I have a request to make, Alien. You've educated us a lot on security. I know I ask a lot of you, but please, could you make this into like a post or a thread? Something we could bookmark, and make reference to in the future. That would really, really help everyone here. I think it would be like a very good asset to have. Secondly, I do have a question for Andrew regarding something he said earlier. I didn't really catch it. It's a very simple question, but I think that's going to come at the end of what I'm going to say. So, expert trader. That reminds me, Alien. Whenever you get a McDonald's job, please tell them someone needs someone needs a job, because my portfolio was wiped out last year. I'm not gonna lie. I took a lot of trading risks, so I was trying to learn. So I took a lot of trading risks, but I have learned a few things, and I'm going to simplify them. So one of the first things I've learned is with new tokens that are coming out, the bigger the hype, the bigger the fall. this doesn't go for every single token, but I think I've begun to notice there's a pattern to this. Every single token, not every single one, but most of the tokens that have been launching recently, if you trade them on futures and they launch, they get this initial pump. And there's a group I'm in, so I tell them this happened recently with a very popular token that just launched. I told them it's going to pump, and then it's going to drop down to this price. So if you're going to enter, this is like the best price to come to come into it. And a few of them took the advice, and it worked for them. They made some profit off it. So with new tokens that are popping up into the market, a lot of them have this initial hype. So the bigger the hype, the bigger the fall. Whenever I see the token starts pumping, like once it just launched and it starts pumping, and it's on futures, I just wait for it to hit what I feel is like a plateau. If I see it hits a peak and it stops moving upwards, or the rate at which it's increasing has drastically slowed down, I set an entry point, limit entry. This is on futures, right? I put a limit entry. I come in and then I short the token. It's bad to say things like that because it feels like you don't believe in the project, but it's a pattern that I've noticed is recurring, and it pays me well from time to time. So I do that, and a lot of times it actually pays off. You see the token fall back down, and then you take your profit. 2, I heard Sage say this, and please, if you're going into futures trading, your best friends are take profit and stop loss. Those are your best friends. I mean, unless you're willing to lose every single money you go into a trade with, and as much as Sage says, go into trade with the mindset that you've lost the money you're going to trade with, nobody really likes to lose money. I mean, you risk $100 and you're like, yeah, I mean, I've lost it. But when it actually goes and then you see your portfolio is down $100, that's where reality hits. So take profit and stop loss those can be like your best friends in any trade. Use them at will. Understand what your target margin is for profit in any particular trade you're going into. And once you hit that in profit, exit. Greed is something that would make you lose your portfolio. And I'm speaking from experience, guys. Don't be greedy in trades. Do not be greedy. You're going to lose your portfolio. Know when to exit. If the profit is little, but that's what you aimed to get at the beginning, take it and leave. Don't get greedy. The biggest part you see where greed plays is in degen trading. If you do degen trading, greed is your worst enemy, because you could see a token keep pumping and pumping, and somebody just pulls out a massive sum out of it, and you can't even go back to the entry point, right? So 3, there's this thing I do with trading. Yeah, if I'm trading futures, I do this in a lot. I try to look at 3 months, like a 3-month timeline on this particular token. After looking at whatever utility it has, whatever narrative it has, I look at a 3-month timeline, right? If at any point within 3 months, this token has gone below its listing price, I never go into that token. Especially if it's at a time where the mother chain. So let's say you're trading on Solana, and you've noticed that the few times in maybe like a 3-month period where Solana dipped, this token dipped below its entry point, below its listing. Avoid that token. Just avoid it. Because more often than not, when you go into those trades, if Solana takes a nosedive, I mean, of course, it's not like crash down, but if it goes down, probably because of market conditions, that token is most likely going to go down below its listing price again. So you could most likely lose out huge. I mean, if you hold for long term, you could recover, but the chances are really slim. So these are things I really look out for. And lastly, I did make some money off Trump. I won't lie. I made some money off Trump because there's another thing I do. I follow market sentiments. I follow human sentiments, right? FOMO FOMO can be a positive. It is largely a negative, but there's this 10% where you get FOMO as a positive. If a token has huge hype as at when it launched, and you see people scrambling to buy, you could invest a little. Just know when to take profit, right? I invested in Trump at $20-something, and I started taking profit from like $60-something, right? I kept selling, and also I paid attention to the fact that the moment Melania launched, I pulled out of Trump. It's human sentiment. The moment Melania launched, I pulled out of Trump. I knew I was done with that. I was no longer interested in making any money out of this thing. And true to form, it started dropping. Like you could see the token just started going down. And I don't think that's ever recovered from that point. So I think it's a very, very smart thing to be able to look at human sentiment when trying to step into trades. So these are strategies that I use, and they help me. So Elian, I see your hand, and I feel like a question is coming. But let me ask Andrew this, because Andrew said something earlier, and I paid attention to it, but I couldn't get it all. Andrew, you said something about downloads on Coinbase. So I'm curious, like how exactly does that work? What exactly are we looking at with Coinbase that would let us know if we should go into a trade or out of it?
Yeah, so it's a really simple indicator that like I saw some posts about it, and like people in retrospect have realized that it's a really good top signal where when Coinbase hits the top of the App Store, meaning that like it's being downloaded. I believe it means it's being downloaded more than any other app that day. Then that means that that's a good indicator that we're probably within either a few days or maybe at most a few weeks of the top, because that means that all of your friends, like basically retail and all of the people that are normally not involved with crypto, are suddenly getting involved for like a short bit of time, and that's when all of the money is dumping in. So I believe I want to say it's Blockworks, or maybe not Blockworks. It might be it's one of the other crypto news sites. Let me I'll get it in a second. But there is a chart on one of the big it's the Block. I think it's the Block. The Block has a chart that tracks specifically where Coinbase is on the App Store. It's like a line graph, just to help anybody keep track. It's a really so if you want to use that as part of your strategy for trading the cycle, I can link that shortly. I'll link it as a reply to this Spaces afterwards.
Intelligent, did that answer your question, my friend?
Yes, that did answer my question. I'm grateful, Andrew. Thank you.
Awesome, and I was gonna say it's nice to hear that you made a little bit of money off the Trump token. I also unfortunately did not make any money off of it. Like Sage, I was being a sleepyhead, so I was sleeping. But yeah, when I woke up, I was like, there's no way I missed like an insane like opportunity. And then I think it was like the next day or the day after like Melania had launched, and I had seen the post about like I think it was like 20 minutes after it got posted by Melania's team or whatever. And I went to Andrew, and Andrew and we were like just DMing back and forth. We're like, yo, should we buy? What should we do? What's going on? We actually both bought a bunch of Solana, and then Solana broke. Like Solana literally broke, and I couldn't get the Solana to my wallet, and it was just like at that point, like after trying over and over and over again, I was just like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. And I do think that that's why Melania actually didn't do that well, because I think that obviously a lot of people had issues, and that kind of ties into what you're saying about the community sentiment. I think that people were just kind of like fed up with it, fed up with the fact that Solana broke, fed up with the fact that they couldn't enter in at a good time, right? Because it just kept going up and up and up and up. That eventually, once Solana was like back online and functioning, people were just basically like they were just like forget about it. Which is why I think that event like within a couple hours, honestly, Melania ended up like crashing pretty hard. And then Trump's obviously still been. I think it went up. I don't remember what happened, but yeah, it definitely ties into that whole like market or like community like psychology element you were talking about, which I think is like very, very important. But yeah, you had your hand up, so feel free to jump in here.
Yeah, so yes, that's like that's a very good way to put it. So I think the failure of Melania was basically because of the inability of people to purchase Solana or to basically transfer Solana to their wallets. There was a huge traffic on the network, and I think because Trump had launched prior, people were at alert for Melania. So with Trump, because people weren't like really expecting it to come up, it was easy for people to quickly move Solana around. And then when the network became congested, like people had already bought, so it wasn't really that heavy. But in Melania, everybody was at alert, so it was really difficult to move tokens around. Also, I think this is something that has to be said. I think people forget that with crypto, there's an important factor. People move money around your crypto. Like, you don't really get a lot of new money flocking into crypto, right? I mean, money comes into crypto, but you don't really get a lot of it flocking into crypto on a daily basis, right? So I think it's over time money piles up. But what you notice is people move money around. So if you're going to buy a token on a particular chain, you're going to maybe hold. And I'm talking about future trading, I'm talking about spot or degen trading, right? If you're going to buy a token, always pay attention to whatever is launching. Like, if you can get an idea of what is coming up, pay attention to it. Because a lot of people lost money on other tokens during Trump launch because they didn't realize the Trump token was coming. So people pulled money out of other tokens on Solana and pushed into purchasing the Trump coin, right? So people had, like, a lot of people had their portfolio go down, and the panic made them end up selling at a loss, right? So if you can, try and pay attention on what's happening on whatever blockchain it is you have your holdings invested in. See what is coming on those blockchains. Does it have hype? Is it big? Is it huge? Is it something that will potentially make investors pull money out of this particular token and move it here for either short or long-term trades? So pay attention to those market movements. If you see anything that indicates that, oh, there is a huge token coming up with a huge hype and it's been money's going to move around, if you can sell, do sell. If you feel like on the long run the token is going to pump again, hold. For degen trading, I will say this. I think, of course, like I said, my portfolio is really down, but the most money I've made off trading is from degen trading, right? And with degen trading, the most important factor is hype. Like, there are new things happening every day around the world. Degen trading is where I feel like Web 2 or the real physical world out there really meets Web 3, right? Because whatever is in vogue out there translates more often than not into tokens in degen trading, right? There's a token that made mad profit today, and I think I told a few of my friends, if you have Solana, buy Harry Balls, right? Buy that token. And it was very simple. Why? Elon Musk changed his handle. He changed his username, sorry, right? I saw the handle was the same, but the username had changed, right? The profile name had gone to Harry Balls. And I said, if this is anything to go by, from when Doge launched to, pretty much every market mover that I've noticed in Solana recently, whenever Elon Musk changed him, a community is formed around that name. So if you are going to be doing digital trading, you have to be at alert and pay attention to whatever trend developing on TikTok, on Instagram, on X, or with major personalities that are either crypto players or tech players. Look at these people and see if they're making any major changes that people could form a community around. Thank you.
That's a good that's a great point, and it obviously ties into the whole element that the entire space is basically run by narratives, and I think that it's a good point, right? Like, what was that little hippo, that gave that became like just
The mood egg.
Mudang? Was it Mudang? Mudang. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like things like that. Like, pay attention to like the next big like Mudang, because that's somebody is going to guaranteed like make a project out of that. But then the thing is with it is like there's also so many scams that are tied to that as well. So it's like when you're making the investment there, it's kind of like what Sage said, like consider your investment like already gone and out the window, because you could potentially be investing into a scam. Granted, you could potentially be using a platform like rugcheck.xyz and basically looking at like the token allocation within the development team, so on and so forth. There's different platforms that you can use, but regardless, when it comes to like big narratives like that, like Intelligent mentioned, like, if Elon Musk's tweets a picture of his dog, for example, or says something like someone is guaranteed to make a project out of that. That's kind of like the state of the crypto world right now, right? Like, I think that that kind of started last cycle when the meme coin narrative kind of like became like just of importance. But yeah, I think that we're obviously seeing a lot more of that this cycle. And I definitely hear you about making most of like your winnings from like degen trading. I definitely feel you there too. Last cycle for me, that was also the case. This cycle, I was like, you know what, I'm going into utility projects, and that's what I'm doing this cycle. And for some godforsaken reason, that didn't do well for me. Like I've told you guys, my portfolio is down like 70, 75%, which is atrocious. I don't really understand. I'm really hoping that the utility narrative picks up this cycle, but at the same time, like if we look at the state of like the world, if we look at like just macroeconomically speaking, we look at inflation, like that's just rampant amongst so many different countries, just around the world, right? Like the US is pretty much like in a recession. People are at a state where they're willing to like gamble. Like everybody's just wants to gamble, which is why I think meme coins have been like getting pushed as much as they have this cycle and have had such a dominance this cycle. But I am hoping is not a word. I am hoping that that eventually utility coins will actually like have their narrative this cycle. But who knows? Like we mentioned earlier, it's like Bitcoin dominance has been so high. Is Bitcoin dominance gonna is altcoin dominance gonna go up? Like who really knows? Right. So it's definitely an interesting time, just like in the crypto landscape, the political landscape. There's so much going on, so much going on. But yeah, Indulgent, so good to hear from you, and really appreciate your 2 cents. Definitely coming in here with like some solid alpha as always. Love seeing you in the community as well. But guys, it's been almost 2 hours now, so I think we're pretty much like wrapping up here. It's been so nice chatting to the actual like community. It's been so nice chatting to you guys and getting to like just hear from you, like just your tips, your tricks, your advice, just like getting to know you on like an individual level as well. That's our absolute priority at Bitcoin OS. Like I mentioned, like we are very well aware that the community is the backbone. Like you guys are everything to us. Like all your efforts, all your advocacy, we see it, we appreciate it, we talk about it as a team. So yeah, just each and every one of you is just so, so, so appreciated.
Hey, Claire, before we wrap
Yes.
it, can you repeat what the Zeely code is for everybody?
Um, but if I repeat it now, then I'm worried that the people that weren't here are just gonna skip to the end and they'll be like, oh, Claire typically gives it at the end. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Only the dedicated ones who listen all the way through get to know it. I like it.
Exactly. That's why I shared it at like the middle of this space, because I typically share it at the end. And then I was thinking, I'm like, well, that's not really fair to all the people that like came in here and actually contributed, actually came up as a speaker. So, but yeah, for those of you that are listening, the secret code is somewhere in the recording of the space, so you must go and find it. Yeah. But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was fantastic, genuinely fantastic. Really enjoyed all the conversations here. Learned a lot. I'm not familiar with futures trading, and you guys definitely shared some like good alpha here that I can carry with me and hopefully apply to my own trading. And I'm sure Andrew feels the same, even though he's probably not going to ape into anything. He's just a straight Bitcoin maxi, which I love that. I absolutely love that. He's winning. He's absolutely winning the cycle. Let's be real. But all right, guys, shout out to everybody here. Just a quick thank you to everyone. Sage, thank you so much for being here. Jason, our favorite moderator, good to see you always. Israel, fantastic to have you. Intelligent, Johnny Dave, you didn't get a chance to speak, but hopefully next time. Mr. CJ actually just requested he'll probably give us like some closing remarks. John, good to see you, my friend. Precious ZK girl, the queen, good to see you. DeFi producer, David, Gideon, Tommy, Chad, Lofty. I think it's AOS National, Brick, Ham, so good to see you. Our OG, Mikey, Web3 Duchess, Primus, YCE, BB Star. Cash, Aaron, Dorsey, Red Frog, Icon. I think pronouncing your name Zung Kim. I don't know. Omega and Salem. So good to have you guys. So, so good to have you. Mr. CJ, I've been trying to bring you up. But for some reason, the space is having some issues, as always. But let's just give him a second to just connect real quick and maybe he can give us some closing remarks. Mr. CJ, hello, hello. You were rugging, I think, or maybe it was the space, but um, give us some closing remarks, my friend. We always, I'm actually laughing because Mr. CJ always gets like cornered, and everybody always forces him to give closing remarks. So, but we would love to hear from you. Well, I do think Mr. CJ is rugging. The crickets have come out. Yeah, let's just give it a couple more seconds here. If it's not working, then I'll know that everything that he had to share was just pure love, as always. Mr. CJ, do we have your presence?
Okay, I
Could you
think I
please give
was.
us some closing remarks?
Am I here now? Can you hear me?
You are here now.
Oh, okay. I think I was rugging. I had to go out and come back again. And yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, Elian, and every other person, Andrew, Jason, Sage, Johnny, Dave, Israel, everybody here is very, very, very beneficial to this community. And I thank you guys for always showing up. I don't know why I requested for the mic, so I actually wasn't really, because this is not really my thing. I wouldn't really call myself a trader. I try as much as possible to, do as little trading as I can, because I'm somebody that always goes with my heart to things. So yeah, trading is not really gonna do well with my blood pressure. So yeah, I'm more of, that's why I chose to, be in the listeners and was listening, and I learned a lot from everybody. I'm more of somebody that, when I started crypto, I did lots and lots of learning and research. I listened to a number of people, a lot of things. Those times, X and X Spaces wasn't even a big thing, so it was usually YouTube and Max watching a lot and lot of crypto related content and trying to learn. And so I came across a couple of projects which, so what I do is, if I feel a project, and I love the utility and I see long term in it, I would just get a few and try to, uh, I don't want to say that secret code, but yeah, I do that. That's just, so yeah, but it doesn't mean that I haven't done a couple of trading. So here and there, once in a while, I would, scalp or swing trade, even arbitrage. I'm surprised there wasn't a lot of mentions of arbitrage trading, but in the earlier days, I know now it's much much more difficult to make profit from it now, but it used to be a big deal. But yeah, I thank everybody. Elian always coming with a lot of alphas and help, and also the the security part. I mean, I always appreciate that. And I think, I don't know who was requesting that you perhaps make a thread or a post on that. I would really, really also love to have that in my bookmarks, and all the recommendations. I actually do have a note on my phone where I where I've written all of them. I keep updating on those, because I do take security very, very important, because that should actually come first before every other thing. Especially in this space, especially X, even, not just like, because I mean, there's lots and lots of things. That's why people like us are newbies on X, because I was a bit fearful of X. Now it's actually much better. A lot of scams have reduced, but they are still there. Just like Elian says, those people are very, very brilliant. People that scam are not dumb people. They are actually very brilliant people. They are very innovative with their ways. They are always steps ahead. So we should actually always take precautions in what we do in order to safeguard, if not just our money, our time as well, which is very valuable. So I thank everybody, Andrew as well. Unfortunately, I was a bit late. I think I joined like 18 minutes after. So I didn't actually get when you contributed, but thank you very much. You always very good. You bring all of those great information and alpha. And where's Zenith now? Zenith also. I was also wowed at his shilling of Bitcoin OS, and yeah, I encourage him to do more of that, and every other person, Jason as well. Uh, I always love his energy, and I love how he also carries, maintains that and also kind of transfers it to other people. And I encourage him to do more of that. I think I told him to come to our space last night. I think maybe something happened, and then DeFi producer did a very wonderful stepping in to show Bitcoin OS, which I do appreciate. I believe that I don't need to repeat everything Jason said, but people should actually get to talk more and more about the project till it gets to people's head and hearts, and then uh, I do believe that when we get to more heights where I don't even know why I'm saying we. I'm not affiliated. I'm not in any way affiliated to Bitcoin OS, by the way. And that's the more reason you should listen to me, because I'm speaking from a very independent standpoint about something that I've looked into and I see the potentials in it. I think it's something that is worthwhile spending time researching and talking about. And yeah, I do hope and pray that it catches that vibe and the hype that's always very valuable in this space. And every other person, if I haven't called your name, Sage as well. Sage gave us an extensive lecture around the whole trading. I think Sage, just like his name, might have double lives because to do what he does and what he's saying, I mean, it takes a lot of, it's not easy, man, because no matter how you try to take out emotions for the whole trading thing, I mean, I'm somebody that loves to to sleep at night soundly. Yeah, I think the last time I didn't sleep well was the day of the Trump one, and you also mentioned that you missed that. It's a whole topic on its own. So I really don't like that, even though I did make money from that, but I don't. Actually, looking back now, I don't think I loved the experience of, I like to. That's why I like more relaxed mode of this. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that does that, and yeah, and I'm not sure. I think I was Rogan when Indulgent was actually speaking, so I didn't get to, unfortunately, grasp a lot of what he was saying, but I do appreciate what you have shared with the community. And I beckon on everybody, I mean, put in the work, go onto the Discord of Bitcoin OS, try to get yourself immersed in this and be able to share it, and the what you're going to learn as well. And if you're also lucky, maybe, trust me, I'm also doing the Zilly task, and I've actually, by the way, Alien, I think I put but maybe I used the wrong. I will check again because I've just tried to use the code. But if you are here during that, you can also do that, and then if you're lucky, you can be one of the five lucky people to actually win the dollars attached to it. But yeah, with that said, I thank everybody. I thank the host and the co-hosts, and I appreciate this important platform where we discuss varieties on a number of things, especially also relating to Bitcoin. I'm one of those people that can proudly say that Bitcoin got me into the space, and Bitcoin is one of the things I always think around, and that's maybe one of the reasons I don't trade a lot, because on Bitcoin alone there aren't a lot of, and relatively speaking anyways, there's not a lot of trading options or availability of trading things to do. So yeah, I love it. I do love Bitcoin a lot. I don't even want to go there because people already know how much. I wouldn't say maxi because I don't have a lot of it. So but yeah, it's one of my very strongest convictions in the space. And if Bitcoin itself is if Bitcoin is strong, then crypto is strong. If Bitcoin is happy, crypto is happy. That's what I believe. And if Boss is working around Bitcoin ecosystem, then I don't have much of a choice but to embrace it and try to see what it's doing, not just for the ecosystem, but also for the community in general. So yeah, I look forward to learning more and a lot of things that comes out of this, and I hope it's for the positives. So thank you everybody, and thank you for being here. I wish we have more and more of these discussions and a bond for a community. And guys, I think we should also get to share this so we can be more than this. We should be capable of being triple of this, quadruple of what we are here. And so we can make more noise about not just what we are discussing, but the actual project that is hosting us. So thank you, everybody. I've been saying thank you. Let me just, we'll see some other time.
Wow, thank you, Mr. CJ. Like I said, guys, this space turned from mastering the art of trading to just Bitcoin OS appreciation, which is so refreshing. And Mr. CJ, it's always good to have you. And yeah, nice to hear that you kind of like touched up on like the different kinds of like trading. Obviously, it's very important to kind of like find your niche, right? Maybe you want to be a day trader. Maybe you want to be a string trader. Maybe you just want to be an investor and hold long term, right? So it's important to kind of like find your niche and see what works for you, because for me it's like futures trading is never going to work. Day trading is never going to work. I don't have time to sit in front of the charts and analyze that all day long, right? Or not even all day long, but just it requires like so much attention in a short period of time frame, which I can't give to. So I always either just like kind of I benefit from like swing trading or just being like a long-term investor. So, and I'm sure that a lot of you can kind of like resonate with that. But Israel, I know you have your hand up, my friend, but we definitely have to we gotta like end the space, unfortunately, just because we have a lot going on that we need to kind of get back to. But it's been absolutely wonderful having all of you. And like I said, Israel, like maybe like the next space you can come up and you'll definitely have the opportunity to speak, my friend. But shout out to all of you. And Mr. CJ, just to answer your question about the secret code. So you actually input it into the BFI Labs space secret code. You have to do it for the WebB Academy secret code. So some of you already were pretty much doing the same thing. Like I said, the task for this secret code is the WebB Academy secret code, not BFI Labs, not B squared, WebB Academy, not the community call. Like I said, it's just for this space. So yeah, wishing you guys a very bullish week. Hopefully it's relaxing. Hopefully it's educational. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic Valentine's Day as well, if you guys got a little bit of love going on in your lives. But Mr. CJ hitting it with the sad face. Anyways, much love to you all. You are all our Valentine. We love you guys. Shout out to all of you and take care.